Hi, good evening. Welcome to the quite different open event this year at Mid Devon Campus. My name's John Hardy. I'm assistant principal responsible for Mid Devon Campus. It's just firstly to note that we are doing things obviously slightly differently this year due to, obviously we all know what it's due to, but just to make sure that we keep everyone safe as we are doing, keep our communities nice and safe. So I'm going to do through a few introductions. So like I said, my name's John Hardy. I'm assistant principal. We've also got Linda Broomhead, who's head of faculty, Zoe Arthurs, who's the second head of faculty within Mid Devon Campus, and Kate Pitkin, who's one of our faculty managers. In terms of those people's roles, Linda looks very much after our art, science, hair and beauty, catering, early years, sport and fitness courses, as well as access. And Zoe is our specialist who looks after trades, business, IT, management and distance learning courses within the college. Kate Pitkin is really our special educational needs specialist. She's got a fantastic range of experience and she really is adept at personalising the learner's journey to make sure we continue to support them as best as possible. So I'm going to go through the presentation now. So what we're going to cover is a few bits about the college and what it's like to be here, what's new at Mid Devon Campus, a bit about study programs overview, a bit about adults courses as well in terms of what they entail, what they're like, what the opportunities are, and a little bit on advice about choosing a course. Now, obviously on our Google site as well, there's all sorts of different parts of the college that you can have a really good look at and really explore and really start to view different parts of it. So do take your time tonight. And also at the end of this, there'll be a Q&A. So you can put into the chat any questions you might have for us, and we'll gladly, as a panel, answer those when we get to the end of the presentation. In terms of the college, and obviously we're very proud, we think we punch well above our weight. Last year we had the 4th highest A-level performance results, and we're not talking COVID year, we're talking the year before that in terms of our outstanding grades. Obviously last year was slightly skewed. Also our vocational students do fantastic as well. So our A-level students do well, our vocational students do incredibly well. I also know we're fantastic at getting our students with special educational needs into employment and it to a really decent level. We've also at any one point got over 1,000 apprenticeships. We've also got around about 500 HE students as well. So we've got a real broad range of offer, and it's about picking the right option for you, the one that suits you in the location that suits you best. And we're really proud of our Mid Devon campus as well. And in terms of all the greatness we've got there, it's got a really excellent community feel. And it'd be great one day to invite you there and welcome you along. In terms of realising potential, we do realise that high standards are essential. If we're going to prepare people for work, we want them to be the best they can be. And we do set those standards in our industry specialist spaces. And we do push students to do their best and achieve their best, both at college and during work placements. Ofsted were quite keen in their last visit, which was all of about a year ago, where they kind of noted our care guidance and support being extremely good as well, which we think is really important. It's about the whole person, not about the individual, in terms of the kind of concept in terms of the individual elements within their programme. In terms of what's new for 2020 then, so we've got lots of exciting developments at our Mid Devon campus. One of that is our Health Futures Hub, which is due to open very soon. So this is essentially a simulation suite where we have a fantastic hospital-like setup on our site, and we help train the future health stars of the future, so our future nurses and allied professions, in terms of getting them into those roles and into those jobs and getting them trained to the very highest standards. We're also, it might be a bit naughty of me to say, but we're also about to be announced as the national lead for professional development in health and science education. So we will be the country's leading light in training other people to educate people in those sectors, which is really exciting, and we're really proud of that. And Linda Broomhead, who's here today, is leading a lot of that work, so it's really exciting. We've also got STEM A levels, which I'll go into in a bit of detail in a moment. In terms of our different courses then, so we've kind of got 4 key 16 to 18 courses and 4 key types of adult courses. And for those 16 to 18 courses, I'll run through those in a moment. If you've not already clapped eyes on them, we've got a range of prospectuses, which will either be out in schools or available from the college, or available online for you to have a browse through and have a look through. So you can really start to explore what's right for you. And at this point, it's probably worth pointing out that some of you sat here watching this will think, yep, great, I know exactly what to do. I just want to know a bit more about it. and others of you will be feeling a bit more ambiguous about it and really uncertain around what is the right step for you. And that's the point of tonight, to help you figure that out. So if you've come along and you're not certain, well, that's what we're here for, and that's what we're here to support. So it's great that you're engaging with us, and we can help you on to that next step, because we know if you make the right choice next, that helps you not just in the years you're studying with us, but in your future career and so on. It kind of goes without saying that it really helps you perform and helps you be happy as well, which is obviously also really important. So in terms of our 16 to 18 programs, we've got a range of different types of courses. And that very much depends on the type of learner you are and what sector you might want to go into. So, and also how you learn and how you like to be assessed. So we know that A-levels are very much about examinations at the end. Vocational courses have a real mixture of exams and lots of coursework throughout. And T-levels, again, are a similar mix with a high volume of industry placements, over 315 hours on an industry placement, which is significant. And apprenticeships really vary by the sector in terms of their type of assessment and obviously the type of role, because apprenticeships, like any job, there's a massive variety there. So in terms of our STEM, so that's science, technology, engineering and maths A-level study programs, we've got a range of different subjects to choose from. And this is really from listening to our employers about what they want in the sectors that we're keen on. And it links with us being the national lead for health and science education. So this is about us preparing you for the future in our specialist area. So we are offering these as a real route into that employment areas and onto high degree apprenticeships and things like that. In terms of our vocational subjects, they really vary a lot by area, and they might vary by the start point that you start on. So for instance, childcare and healthcare, you can start at level 3, which is A-level equivalent. But for things like the trades, the highest you can start at is level 2, because you practically need to learn those skills before you develop and move on. And similar in hospitality and catering. So it really varies by individual area. It's also worth looking at our facilities pages to see what those facilities are like and how they match up. And I think this is where the community aspect of Mid Devon really plays out, in that these courses all have their own community within our really tight-knit educational community at Mid Devon Campus. And it really is important to us that we know every student, that we support them and that we understand them so we can help them throughout the journey with us. In terms of T-levels, these are brand new for September 2020 for the UK. There are a few colleges that are running them from September. I'm quite happy, to be honest, that we're in the second wave of providers that will be running them from September 21, especially with COVID going on and the vast amount of work experience. But we'll be offering routes in construction, education and health and science. And these really are designed by the government to be that license to go into employment or onto high degree apprenticeships. They've been designed by employers alongside educators, but it really is aimed at making sure when people leave college, they're ready for the world of work. So if you want to find out more about those T-levels, they're a really exciting new development. Like I said, they've got a mixture of project-based work, working on projects set by employers, and they've also got a mixture of exams as well as more traditional kind of coursework that you might have found. And they focus on things like the apprenticeships do, the knowledge, skills and behaviours that people may or may not have in the workplace, and how we can develop them so we can get you ready for it. No one expects you to start a course like that knowing it all. Otherwise, what's the point of doing the course? You know, we're here to help you develop. In terms of apprenticeships, they're like any job, essentially. So to do an apprenticeship, you need to have a role and you need to have an employer that's willing to train you. And we can help you find them. We can also do something called a traineeship, which gives you a bit of a try before you buy. Before you invest in an apprenticeship, either as the employer or as the student, and it's a bit of a safe space to learn in and see whether it's right for you or not. So that can be a precursor to an apprenticeship. Obviously, you get paid as an apprentice, and it helps you build a really strong career. But it relies on you obviously being really, really clear on that being the route you want to do, and you're definitely sure of it. For some people, that's great, and for others, it isn't. Like I said, so it's very, very individual. In terms of the wider college life for our 16 to 18 students, we've got quite a broad enrichment team who put on a massive range of different activities. This year, obviously, it's a mixture of online and in person, but we've got things like photography clubs, we've got flaky bakers, we've got the film clubs, as well as wellness, meditation. You've probably seen on the news this morning, I was listening to the radio this morning, and there's a report out that loneliness for 16 to 29-year-olds is the biggest factor. And we're well aware of that at the college. So a lot of the aim of that enrichment is to help develop that whole person, to help them be comfortable with other young people, And we think we do that really well at the Mid Devon campus with our strong support network that we wrap around our students. Now, in terms of when we start these courses, our start point depends partly on the sector, the trade you might be entering, and it also depends on the grade you get at school. So essentially, as a basic rule, the harder you work at school, the better grades you get, the higher the level you can start at, which means your journey onto your next role, your job, or your career is probably a little smoother, if we're honest, but also it links to future earning potential. So this is kind of one measure of success that we can perceive it. And there's other things. Happiness is very important too. And this is not reliant for all areas, but this is a certain trust report from 2015 that looked at people's highest level qualification and their earning. So obviously the higher qualification you get, the harder you study, and the better grades you get, the more your earning potential. It's one crude measure. Happiness and other things are obviously quite tricky to measure, but this is one way of us measuring this and thinking about how this might affect our future and what kind of impact these decisions we have now, both in school and how we're working, but also when we come to college and how we work here. For a lot of students that come to us, I'm probably not wrong in saying that at school it maybe doesn't quite click. But when they choose that vocational subject area, it really sparks their imagination. They can often be a very different student with us than they were at school and feel very different and much more confident about themselves, which is really, really exciting to see, which helps them go up that pathway. So if you do start off at a lower level qual, we're very good at getting you to where you need to get to as well. So it's not, all is not lost, but it certainly makes it much smoother and much easier if you get those grades at school, particularly the English and maths in terms of the resits. In terms of adult and HE, we've got a really strong offer from Mid Devon Campus. We've got over 50 distance learning courses, and we've got a massive range of courses that really get people back into learning. We realise that lots of our adults have been out of education for a little while, and first time around, they might not have enjoyed it so much. We've got a really strong GCSE maths and English provision, which allows people to get back into learning and understand that. In the majority of cases, that's free. We've also got an excellent access to HE provision, particularly with our links to health and nursing and so on. And we've got a huge range of various short courses, and we're the MOT Test Training Centre for the South West and so on. So we have a real range of different courses that can suit you and your needs, from higher education degrees to hair and beauty courses, catering and everything in between. So it's really worth exploring that, particularly if you might be on furlough, or if your role might not unfortunately be there anymore. There are various government initiatives and funding does vary course by course, so it's worth having a chat with us about it. Many courses are funded, but it really does vary course by course. That's determined by the government for us, so it does vary a lot, so it's worth having a really good chat with us about that. In terms of our facilities, I've already touched on this before, but we're very, very proud of our excellent facilities. All of our campuses, but particularly at Mid Devon, we've got a fantastic future technologies building. We've got great learning resources for our students, as well as a whole host of other facilities that you're really welcome to have a good look at. And again, you can check out through the website tonight in terms of all the different bits and bobs we've got going on. It's also key to point out that our staff are specialists as well. They've been employed by us because they are specialists within all these facilities, know exactly how they work, and they've been there and done it. They've done these jobs and they can help guide you onto your next step. In terms of helping you decide, I kind of touched on this earlier on, in terms of those people that are sat there maybe thinking, I'm not too certain what I'm going to be doing. These are a few prompts to help you with it. So firstly, we're all individual. What suited your brother or sister or mum or dad might not suit you. So what is it that you enjoy? What's your learning style? What assessments will you engage with? How will you cope with that? Will it stress you out? Will you feel in control of it? These are all important factors to consider. Also, what's your 5-year plan? Do you even have one? Is it worth jotting some ideas down? Now, I did this, and frankly, I look back on them and felt a bit silly afterwards, but it gave me that start point at the time to think, you know what, that's what I'm going to do, and that's where I'm going to go. And it got me down that route, and it can really, really be a positive first step. We've also got an impartial, dedicated careers advisor in Mark Turnbull, who's a really fantastic asset to the college. He can be accessed via careers@petrock.ac.uk. He's really supportive, and he will do online video calls and the rest of it to help support you if we can't meet in person. In terms of other factors to consider, this is very much thinking about the jobs that we might progress onto, which is kind of the point of all this. So it's worth thinking about your sector and what are the surroundings like, what are the facilities. Are you going to be working outside all day, or do you want to be inside in an office, or do you want to work in retail? Do you want to meet people, or do you not want to meet people? What job prospects does it offer? What earning potential does it get? What fringe benefits are there? What's the entry and training like on it? What's the staff development packages like it for people that work there? Is it far away? Do you want to have a big commute? These are all factors. Can you cycle there? Can you walk there? And what are the past results of that organisation? What are they like, and what are the people like? Is it someone you can engage with and buy in and feel a value for? Or is it something that is just a means to an end for you, and that is just what you want to do? And that really does vary a lot by every individual. Now, in terms of progression, we've obviously got the level 1, 2, 3 study programs. There's apprenticeships, higher degree apprenticeships, and HE. So it is about looking at those progression opportunities for you. There's no one path for many careers. There's a range of different ways of getting there, and we can tailor that to you and your needs and what suits you best. So in terms of the next steps after today, obviously have a really good look around our website, have a really good look through all the different things that are on there, all the different things you can interact with, all the chat questions you can ask us now. Obviously apply online. That will then take you through to the application processes, which is where we'll start to discuss your options with you and just to confirm whether it's right for you. And that will be a more tailored discussion to you to talk through all the different options and how it fits. And then it'll be giving you the clear entry requirements and all the rest of it in terms of what you need to achieve, or if you've already got your grades, whether that matches up the entry requirements for the course. We've also got the app to track your application, and you can upload your photo ID and your GCSE results. If you're going to be taking them this year, you upload those direct to the app rather than bringing a piece of paper into college. Just take a picture and then we confirm your results. And obviously you can discuss all of that with our fantastic advice and guidance team there. So without further ado, I will stop talking and ask if we have any questions for the panel, which I believe is something I am going to look at now. So I'm going to have a look through these, and then I'm going to ask the panel. Let's see how this works, panel, in terms of what we've got here. So our flurry of experts we've got with us. So we've got one from Toby that says, I want to do an apprenticeship where you do 6 different trades and do each one for the 6 weeks. I think that is our level 1 course. Am I right in thinking that, Zoe?
So what it would be, Toby, is you need to apply for the property maintenance apprenticeship standard at level 2. It will mean that you can get a really good experience of all the different trades, and it's a really called for apprenticeship at the moment, particularly with councils, because they want people who are multi-skilled. So have a look on our website, and then if you can't find it, please do get in touch with advice and guidance, and we can guide you to the right place.
We've got a woofy dog somewhere. That's the nature of these things, isn't it? The next one we've got from Millie Searle, which is, hi all, have you had anyone wanting to go on or do a policing degree or join the police force? Well, yes, we do. So we've got the 999 Academy, which operates out of North Devon Campus, which runs mainly for 16 to 19 students and helps support them. It runs on a Wednesday afternoon. It gives them real work experience in the emergency services. Essentially, in terms of joining the police force, they've now got police degree apprenticeships, which they're quite keen to engage people with, which don't require any particular quals. There is an age requirement there in terms of joining the force. But in terms of that degree apprenticeship, I know it's a really sought after program, but really positive. We've got a few ex-students who've managed to get places on there, and they've taken a range of routes from public service courses to A-levels and so on. I would say there's one route for you. I would choose the route that suits you, which seems quite ambiguous advice, but think about particularly getting level 3 qualified at least, and then kind of working from there would be my advice, as well as some work experience or community work. That would be excellent to work alongside there. Hopefully that's answered your question there, Millie. Then we've got someone, here we go. We've got a question from, I don't know what your name is. I don't know if this is your Christian name, but Smarmite Vids has said, are there any apprenticeships that would help me get into teaching? Now, essentially teaching is something that people normally have a degree in, but not always at the start point. And it depends where you want to teach, whether it's primary, secondary, further education or higher education that you want to teach in. In terms of primary and secondary, they normally do a degree and have a either a Bachelor's of Education or get a teaching qualification alongside it. If you want to teach in further education, then you can do what's called a Cert Ed when you're actually teaching and delivering at the same time, which as a college we fund our staff to go on because we recognise the value of doing that. But in terms of any apprenticeships, there are a range of courses. I don't know if anyone's aware of any apprenticeships in teaching.
The teaching assistant at level 3, so assisting in a class rather than teaching, we offer that.
Okay, that's cool. So that would be 1 day a week on site learning, and then the other days out in the schools being a TA.
Absolutely, yeah.
Cool. Then we've got another question from someone asking what bus route we take. If we could have the, I'm not sure, I'm not fully aware of all the different bus routes. Zoe and Linda, would you feel comfortable answering that one?
I think it's just a case of if you contact our advice and guidance team, then we'll be able to identify where you live and obviously which bus it is that you would need to take. And we can also work out your journey time as well, so that you feel really informed about the right decision for you.
Awesome. That's a much better answer than the one I was trying to cobble together, Zoe. Thank you very much. That's all the questions that I can see. So I would just like to reiterate my thanks for you for having a good look at us this evening. Have a really good critical look through the website, have a real good view of what's on offer, what's there, how we can support you. If after this evening you've got lots of questions, then please get in touch with our advice and guidance team. We'll be more than happy to help you and support you on your way. And we look forward to talking to you. All the best. Thank you, Zoe, Linda and Kate as well.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.